Hi, it's Cheryl, Senior Living Family Advocate. And I have a lot of clients that when I talk to them about their loved one and I ask them the question, so give me a typical day, a lot of them, this is especially if your parent is living alone, but a lot of people will say, well, I just don't feel like they have much quality of life. They get up, they have their breakfast, they sit in their chair all day, they watch TV. Most of their friends have passed away. They really don't get out much. They can't drive anymore. It's kind of an isolating experience for a lot of us as we age. So what I'd like to talk to you today is about, moving to a community and how it can really benefit your emotional health and your physical health, because they get a lot more physical at these communities. Some of the things I'm going to talk about what an average day looks like, but before I do that, I really thought it would be fun because a lot of people don't realize all the activities that a lot of these communities have during the day. So here's just a few of the things that I looked on some of my communities, what they would have on their activities calendar. 10 o'clock, coffee for the ladies. 11 o'clock, bridge club. 11:30, walking or Tai Chi. 1 p.m., men's lunch bunch. 2 o'clock, pet therapy. 3:30, flower arranging. 6 o'clock, live music. I mean, that's all in one day. That's just so much going on. It's so much fun. Another place had manicures, bunko, bingo, numerous art projects. Bible study is usually offered, which I always forget to tell people that they usually have Bible study and also church services. There's an out to lunch bunch and happy hour on Fridays. So, those are just some of the things. If you go to a lot of the community websites also, they'll list their calendar and what, your loved one might be able to look forward to. But I thought that would be fun to hear because a lot of people just don't realize how vibrant these communities can be. So an average day is, your caregivers will help your loved one get up. They'll go into their apartment, hi John, let's get you up and ready for breakfast. Depending on what they need help with, obviously they will help with those activities of daily living, getting them dressed, showered, shaved, whatever they need. Breakfast is served. They sit down, coffee, really nice warm breakfast. They usually have, choices available every day. Then you go on to activities. Sometimes I know one place did a lot of, current events and chatting, with the people after breakfast, which was fun in the living room, very casual. A lot of times exercise is usually around 10, 11 o'clock. Then there's a lot of outdoor spaces. So the other thing is like this time of year with the flowers, and these communities usually do a lot with their outdoor spaces. And sometimes they'll have planting clubs where you can go out and you can plant the annuals in the raised beds, which is really nice. I had a resident that, worked in one of my communities. It seemed like he worked there. He wanted to water. He wanted to water the flowers during the summer. And so a lot of times they have these beautiful outdoor spaces that are really comfortable. You would have lunch around noon. It's the biggest meal of the day for digestion. That's the smart way to go. They always have choices for lunch. After lunch, they usually have like at least a couple activities between lunch and dinner. Sometimes they'll have musical guests either after dinner or right before dinner. Dinner's served usually around 5:30, and a lot of communities rarely have too much going on in the evening. So people will, at that point, hopefully they've had a full day and they'll be a little tired, and that's when they'll go into their apartment and, they'll read or they'll watch TV or whatever they need to do. And then the caregivers will come in at whatever time your loved one usually goes to bed and help them, with anything they need. So that's just kind of a typical day. But what I wanted to really express is that if your loved one is home and they're lonely and they're not getting good food and they're really resisting moving to a community, you might want to encourage them to look, let's go look at some places and see what they have to offer. They might be surprised. So if you have questions or comments about that, or if you need help, feel free to give me a call, a text, or an email. Thanks.